Hello you, it's my yard here, and it's time to change it! Changes! The do with paybacks or changes. Yes, because the payback system has been underutilized and has gotten very samey over the last couple of years, especially with certain paybacks being overused and others from a gameplay perspective. For instance, you have the payback of auto reversals. These are the level 1, the minor paybacks. Use this ability to automatically perform a minor reversal, can't be used on major reversals, reverse signature, and finisher attacks. It doesn't consume reversal stock, but because it can't counter mid moves, it is not used. It's used very rarely because it's used in replace with this, earning a reversal stock. This reversal for a payback is 100 times better. So if you had the option of the two, and every superstar can use any payback, you choose the reversal over auto reversal because there's no reason to. You get so much better choice out of using a reversal. Instant recovery is used so much in multi-man matches, pretty much all the time, as well as in tornado tag matches. It's just a nice nip up. It doesn't automatically happen when you get hit by big signatures or finishers, of course, but it's still a nasty maneuver. But in tag matches and tornado tags, you see Possum being used a lot more, even in elimination matches like Elimination Chamber. Possum, you play a Possum payback when you're on the mat or in the corner, and you catch your opponent off guard and you ground them with a attack or a pin, although very rarely is it used for a pin. It is next to instant pickup and reversal the three most common paybacks used, because the other two aren't used a damn bit online. Fist of Fury, increase your striking power attributes. Well, no one gives a flying hoo-ha about that. Gives you a minor speed boost and improves striking reversals. Doesn't matter a damn bit online. Speed buff as well, improves stamina and reversals. Whoop-de-doo. It's not used at all as a payback. Let's talk about it. If you were going to keep any of them, you keep the main three. But I think you have to update them as well a little bit. So here are my suggestions for new paybacks. Running! Yes, make it a payback. We discussed this in the previous video. You can now run and sprint for a short period of time. It allows you to reach the top rope much faster and perform running dives. The fact that the core gameplay of playing online is all about running, if you make that a payback and have people resorting to bouncing off the ropes, performing stuff from the corner and stuff, you get different variety of moves being performed instead of the same generic running strike to interfere, running strike, running grapple. It's boring and tiresome. You need to slow the pace down, as it were, and running, making it a payback, will ultimately change that, I guarantee it. What about doing this though? How about making the leverage pin a payback as well as a minor payback? Perform grappling roll-ups for a short period of time, opponent can reverse them into a roll-up of their own. Now online and offline, it gets to a point when everyone's done loads and loads of moves that people will resort to just doing roll-ups. Why? Because roll-ups are actually the hardest thing to kick out of next to finishers. In fact, in some cases are harder because the pin bar goes a lot quicker. By making it a small payback and making it finisher level, this can be a last-ditch thing to try and win a match where you wouldn't want to use a finisher. Sneaky, it's quick, but it puts someone off guard, and that adds a layer of strategy to the game which it doesn't have. But what about the major paybacks, the ones that are used at the end of matches or in the sake of online matches every single time? Because a lot of them, like the ones you're seeing on the screen now, don't get touched. The occasional hands of fate in some games, but I mean, we're talking realistically for competitive playing or multi-man matches. A lot of this doesn't get used. Even one-on-ones, running and blackout, don't get touched at all. Poison mist, low blow, and pound and punch do get used in like extreme rules matches from time to time, because they're all pretty much the same thing, but low blow is actually the best one. Finisher is actually really nice. Electrifying is underpowered compared to what it was in the previous games, but it was overpowered in the previous one, so that makes perfect sense. Move feat should be an ability, not a payback, because otherwise it's totally pointless. so it never gets used as well. The key one that gets used in every single match for any reason, no matter what, is resiliency, because having an automatic kick out is absolutely stinking crazy. There should never, ever be an automatic kick out situation or submission kick removal. It should just give you a better chance of getting out. Do it like the old school days of when you activated resiliency, the pin bar increased. So instead of being a smidgen, you had a better chance. Simple as that. Do not make it auto win. Yes, you get 3 chances to kick out. Well, if you wanted to use resiliency on your first attempt, cool, it means you've got 3 chances to kick out. If you're doing it on the counter 2, you will only get 1 chance to kick out. The pin bar won't move, it will increase in space. Very straightforward, very simple, and why it hasn't been done or reverted back to that, I have never understood, because it doesn't take much damage to get your payback back to red, and this is ultimately what causes matches to last 500 years. Is because of resiliencies. Tornado tags and other matches and elimination chambers, they wouldn't last anywhere near as long if resiliency wasn't auto. So do you remove it, or do you make it this change? Because it's one or the other. Because otherwise you're just going to have long matches that just give up. Having the payback of leverage pins hopefully changes that situation. I think personally it would. Having a new payback. How about grabbing the tights? And a souped up version of a leverage pin, almost like a finisher. If they are down and dusted and dead, and you're going for a leverage pin, much like Foot on the Ropes is an ability, you get cool stuff. Leverage pin is just roll-ups. Grabbing the tights, the referee is less likely to see a tight grab because of how they officiate compared to feet on the rope. But you need more paybacks. You need to give people the option that will make them choose strategically one payback over another, because right now resiliency is the only perfect option, to be honest. You need valid changes. So how about major counter? How about a counter that counters mid moves automatically? 1 chance, but because it's a major payback, you lose all the minor payback, you lose everything, but it gives you a last ditch attempt of countering their maneuver. But more importantly, it means they are uncounterable. They can't counter anything. They can't counter anything for the next 20 seconds. Unless they want to use one of their paybacks to obviously get them back into being the positive instead of the negative. But what if you wanted to go the submission route? Something which I don't like. But how about removing all submissions from being tappable? Making them rest holds. So if you perform them, you are doing normal damage. And it just helps prolong, regain stamina, regain some health. But as a payback, activate those submissions as winnable submissions instead. For a short period of time, all submissions can win you the match. So if you are desperate to try and get a win from any way and you've worked a body part, this is the solution for you. Not to say that signatures and finishers can't let you win by submission anyway, that's default. But normal moves, an abdominal stretch, a leg grapevine, a chin lock can't win the match unless you have this payback. That stops the cheapness because you're sacrificing a way of surviving with resiliency by going on the aggressive and choosing a normal method instead. And again, it's time factored, so you have to decide if you want to have that strategy or go submission, maybe with a superstar like Bret Hart. That works perfectly with this payback. If you've already worked the back and you don't have a finisher and you've taken damage, you now have an alternate win con, and that's the strategic part of the game, giving alternative win cons that are valid. Now don't get me wrong, there's the existing paybacks, some need to be replaced, some need to be changed, but with these additions we can adapt the gameplay to be better suited. See the other videos and see my thoughts on this series, because it's going to be a series of change it. We're making changes of how to improve the game from a pure fundamental point. The gameplay has to change for everything else to work. Doesn't matter if you put a new engine on it, it's like polishing a turd, it's still a turd. So give me your thoughts, give me your suggestions, leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more WWE gaming goodness. We've discussed about running before in depth and why it should be changed. But there's also stuff like top rope moves, submission systems. There is so much we can talk about a gameplay that we'll be doing it in different videos, so stick around to the channel. From your OG of YouTube gaming, we'll see you later.